GM, good morning. Welcome to the Milk Road Show, the daily crypto show that hits like a late night convo with old friends who've seen your portfolio at its worst. I'm your host, Jay Hamilton. It's Monday, May the 19th. Bitcoin had its highest weekly close ever this past week, above 106,000. And then it dipped and then it came back, and the roller coaster continues. The US Senate is going to vote today on stablecoin regulation, the Genius Act specifically. Big vote. We will definitely be paying attention to that, although that vote has not happened by the time we're recording. So you're going to have to watch your timeline to see what comes out of that. And today we got Zeneca back on the show, y'all. Zeneca has been on his honeymoon off in Japan. Great to have him back. We're going to dive into everything he's looking at right now and for the future. Zen always likes to take us deep into the trenches on what's going on in various tokens, and altcoin season might be coming up. We'll talk about that and so much more. Before we jump in, if you guys just do me a quick favor, I hate asking this question. All creators hate asking this question, but just give us a like or a follow or a review, whatever you could do. It really does help the algorithm and helps us get more great guests on the show and really be the best we can be for you and your crypto investments. Today's episode is brought to you by Ledn. Get cash without selling your Bitcoin. It's also brought to you by Coinshift, powering top crypto treasuries with their yield-bearing stablecoin CSUSDL. Without further ado, Zen, welcome back to the Milk Road Show.
Thanks for having me back. Good to be back. It's been it feels like years, but it's been like what, a month maybe? It's crypto though.
Totally. So, okay, how did it feel? Like you took what, 3 weeks off for your honeymoon, totally disconnected, and you came back to pretty good times. What compared to
Yeah.
when you left? Like,
Oh, it was great.
what's your take on where we're at right now? Did you come back to like, okay, bull market back on, like let's go, I'm allocating again, or did you come back to like, ooh, feel like this is just like a little bit of a mean reversion and we could still be range bound from here?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know where we are in the cycle. I think this cycle has been so tough to pick,
Mm.
and anyone that says with like confidence, "Oh yeah, this is alt season is now coming," or "The bull market is definitely back on," I always take with a massive grain of salt. I'm still sort of getting my bearings. I've only been back sort of a week, and there's so much that's been happening. I'm just happy that prices are up again after a while. Like we had many months, basically most of this entire year was just like down and choppy and kind of depressing, and Bitcoin did okay and everything struggled. I do feel kind of bullish though. Like I've been bullish for, I mean, all through this year. Main reason being just fundamentally everything is pretty damn great for crypto, and none of that has really changed. And yeah, it seems like macro is kind of settling a teeny tiny bit, which is good.
Yeah, it's so hard to know where we are in this cycle, because as you said, it is definitely a different cycle. The thing that like I'm getting so the question I keep asking is, okay, everybody gets the Bitcoin thesis, right? Like I think if you're listening to this and you don't have something allocated to Bitcoin, stop listening to this and go allocate some of your portfolio to Bitcoin, because the risk the risk reward on the Bitcoin bet is just so strong, right? Like, I don't know about you. To me, one of the big questions that I always ask myself as to how my conviction is for assets within crypto is like, what would I tell my friends and family outside of crypto
Mm.
about? And 3 months ago, like basically when Trump said US Bitcoin strategic reserve, I know they're not buying, but he took the 200,000 Bitcoin that they already owned and he, basically moved it into a strategic reserve. And you can get into the semantics of exactly how he's legally structuring this, which we don't even necessarily know yet. But like that was the last thing to fall for me on the Bitcoin side that made me say, okay, I'm now going to go tell my friends and family, like, you should allocate to Bitcoin so long as you have long time horizon, you have the stomach for the volatility, all of that. But I've got, and so give me the thumbs up if you agree with that.
100%. Yeah, I hadn't thought of
Yeah,
it like that. But if I'm talking to anyone sort of relatively new to crypto, they don't know I only tell them buy Bitcoin. Like I don't
right.
even tell them to bother with ETH, Solana, anything else. Just literally just DCA into Bitcoin, and you'll do
Yeah.
better than almost anyone.
Well, and so here's where my challenge is okay, so because I agree with what you're saying, I also don't tell them ETH, Solana. I don't think I would ever tell anyone, but in the past, I have told people ETH, Solana.
Yeah.
Have you as well?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I think we
Okay.
all go through that. You drink the Kool Aid. You're super bullish
Mhm.
yourself, and you're like, yeah, man, this is the future, and you got to get in on it, and yada yada yada. It's natural, I think.
So here's where I'm stuck right now is like, I'm trying to figure out where my conviction is for beyond Bitcoin, right? And I sort of break it into a few buckets, and I would love to get your take and your thoughts on this. We just have an open conversation because you and I haven't even caught up in months. We barely had time to prep for this episode. We'll make it great. Don't worry. And so I got one bucket is the major L1s, and maybe let's bucket all L1s. I'm not like going super far down the risk curve in L1s, but like you could maybe throw like a Sui or an Aptos, or pick your alternative L1 that you believe is the next one. Okay, so that's one bucket. Um, I'm kind of feeling like I'm not super strong in my L1 trade conviction right now. Right, I'm feeling lower on that conviction. Not to say I'm out of it. I still hold a lot of ETH and Sol. Next, I'm very interested in the public crypto trade right now, like Coinbase and HOOD, basically, right?
Mhm.
If you look at their market cap risk reward, I feel pretty strong on that. So let's take the public crypto stocks. Then let's go to like altcoins, but let's break it up. Meme coins, nice little run here, right? Like really made a comeback. Everyone said meme coins was dead, and here we are. The fart coin back, whiff back, like all of them have made an incredible comeback. And so that's making me think, hey, maybe the meme coin cycle just continues, and the L1 trade is cooked this cycle, right? Like very possible. And then I go the next category I go to is the app category, like the real revenues, real fundamentals, which really is only like, I don't know, 20 DeFi apps, really, right? Like there's not like a lot that fit into that category. And then you could go further and you could look into like virtuals or other apps that you think maybe could be there. But let's be real, the fundamentals aren't very strong in them yet. So I sort of
Yeah.
struggle. How do you think? How do you think about it between those
Yeah.
categories, or maybe you think about it differently?
No, I generally think of it similarly. I think of like different buckets and categories. You got the L1s, you got the AI tokens, memes, et cetera, et cetera. I guess as time goes on, I just more and more realize that ev- almost everything is trending towards zero. That's just the nature of crypto. And that's why Bitcoin is just so different to the rest. Obviously, a bunch of other stuff will do very, very well as well. The problem is picking the right ones. Like for years and years and years, everyone said ETH is just clearly second. I've always said that. I'm still very bullish ETH, but it's just so dramatically underperformed basically everything else this cycle. It's no longer clear and obvious to try and I think pick coins. And so I I think I just have a much shorter holding time horizon these days than maybe I did in the past, where I think that there's lots of narratives and uh, pockets of time where memes are going to do really well, or all L1s will do really well because all the attention is on some new chain and then people are chopping from one to another. But at the end of the day, I think taking profits frequently and funneling it back into Bitcoin, sitting on a nice pile of stables for the next time there's a big crash, because there will be, there always is in crypto. And something you said, excuse me, something you said before about how memes are back. We've got Whiff, we have Mog is back, we have Fartcoin, etc. They're all doing very well. I can't help but feel a little weary because it's reminiscent of after NFTs in 2021. Like there's a big crash, and then there were a couple of pockets in 2022 and even into 2023 where people are like they're back and things bounce back significantly, but they never really got back to previous highs for the most part. And so with stuff like that, I try to look at, is there actually new participants entering the ecosystem? Are new people coming into crypto and buying these meme coins, or is it just previous bag holders getting excited by a bit of a rally and rebuying their own bags? And that to me is the biggest question. And I don't know the answer, but that's what I'm looking at.
I think the answer is no. Like I think, right? Like
That's what my
let's
gut says. Yeah.
that's what my guts. If we break down the like categories of buyers, so uh, let's talk first about the institutional side, right? Because like the institutions truly are here now, right? But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily allocating yet, right? They're definitely allocating to Bitcoin, that is for sure, and they're allocating further down the risk curve. And we did a show like maybe a month or so ago about institutional allocation, and it shocked me to see how many of them were allocating to Bonk or Doge or
Yeah.
like blue chip memes, right? Um, but I don't think it is very clear right now that institutions are they're not rushing to make any decisions right now because everybody's just kind of wait and see right now, right? Like you said, like I don't any smart money investor has the exact same take you said, which is this cycle has gotten too confusing. I do not know where we are going from here. So I'm going to wait on the sidelines until I see a meaningful thing happen that makes me say, yeah, I'm ready to we are truly risk on, right? Because like in my mind, we're not risk on right now.
No. No, I've been so like just to I guess give perspective on where my head is at. When I got home from the honeymoon 3 weeks, like basically the last few days before we got home, prices were pumping. I got home and I was like, I'm just gonna start selling stuff. Like I in the past when that would happen, I'd be like, oh yes, risk on, let's buy some memes, let's catch the next hot thing, the next new narrative. And you can absolutely make money doing that. But it it's just risky and riskier and riskier and riskier. Macro is it's a little bit better than it was, when tariffs were going absolutely crazy, but people still don't know what's going to happen. We haven't had like a massive, massive, massive crash globally for quite a while now. I mean, COVID was COVID. It bounced back pretty quickly, but like aside from that, we haven't had a huge global crash. And so I'm just weary, and I think trading crypto, there's tons of money to be made, but investing is it's a very, very, very small handful of things I'm comfortable holding on like a several year time horizon. And the I guess the longer time goes on, the more I'm just like it might just be Bitcoin for now.
Hmm. Hmm. What does that mean for you then? Are you investing in other asset classes then, or are you just sitting on the sidelines and waiting for the next
I
crypto
am
opportunity?
so I've had a my wife and I have had like a weekly DCA into the index fund stock market for a while now, and we increased that a bit. But aside from that, we're not really doing much other investing. Really, just trying to get more cash and stables and literally fiat cash as well. I know fiat is a dirty word, but it's just like just having a healthy amount of money in the bank and also sitting in stable coins and crypto so that if there is a massive crash, we can, buy it good things at a discount. If not, you can still earn decent yield on your stables and even
Mhm.
in banks in Australia, you get a 5% or something, which is nothing to sniff at.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Is Zeneca the Warren Buffett of crypto right now? Just piling cash.
If I was, I would have sold tons more back in January, or earlier. But I'm headed in that direction. I think, which it's a new one for me because pretty much my entire crypto career, if I had cash, stables, ETH, even Solana, Sol, it would just almost immediately go into NFTs or meme coins or AI agents or whatever the new hot meta is because there was always something. And when I'm actively trading, then yes, you want to be deploying capital regularly as an active trader, but yeah, I'm just like basically I've always had multiple buckets, like the trading bucket and then the long-term investing holding type bucket. And I'm just like lowering the exposure in the day-to-day trading and that kind of stuff and sitting more in the long-term bucket and within that bucket having more in stables and cash. Again, I'm not bearish. I am bullish, but it's just it's so uncertain that I don't feel comfortable taking a massive risk right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing that like everybody in the space needs to know that we are still in uncertainty, right? Like we have not yes, there is a lot of positive momentum moving moving away from uncertainty towards certainty. There's deals happening, lots of trade deals happening. The US and China did a 90-day pause, right? We'll see what comes out and lower tariffs as part of that. I think it's at like 30% and 10% now. I can't even keep track of it, but like it's much lower than the like 150 or
100 and something, yeah.
200%. Ooh, yeah, it was ridiculous, right? So there is a lot of positive momentum happening on the tariff side. So okay, like moving in the right direction, but not certainty. Like I would say, like you got to be careful because what happens is when this momentum happens, all media loves to talk about it, right? Like the deals are happening, the but then nobody goes and actually does the research and does the reading, right? And like when you
Yeah.
do the reading around China and the US, like everything that I think China and US is like that's the main thing that you need to really understand right now on the
Yeah.
tariff side. Like none of the other tariffs really, really matter. And when you look into that, I don't know. Like I don't. My take on it is that they've done a 90-day pause because neither of them wants this extreme tariff long term. But long term, what they both want and how they're both motivated is completely different. So I look at it and I'm thinking like, are they going to reach consensus and agreement in 90 days? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but it doesn't feel like a slam dunk to me. And then go over to the Fed and you've got Jerome Powell giving us absolutely nothing on what the Fed is going to do. Like just nothing. Like the best line I heard from the last Fed meeting was somebody was like, I've never seen Jerome Powell say nothing so many times. Like literally
It's
he
amazing.
just said nothing, like, which is
Yeah.
a skill in itself, right? To give no clue in either direction of what they're going to do,
Yeah.
which again, like uncertainty. But then I talked to all these macro people. The macro side right now, like Matt Hogan from Bitwise, Dan Tapiero, they all are so bullish still. Like they're so bullish, and they all seem to think, and maybe it's because they're 20 years our senior or 30 years our senior, and they've just been through this so many times that they know that this is noise. But it's just again, it's so much conflicting, different views, different opinions. And yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think here's my one question. When you came back from your honeymoon and you say, okay, I'm going to sell, right? When a lot of other people are like, yeah, let's go. Now's the time to buy. We're back. Are you afraid of, I think a lot of people don't sell in these moments because they're afraid of missing out,
Mm.
right? There's so much fear, right? Like what if we are on and boom, we're going to go.
Mhm.
Are you afraid of missing out on that? Do you think that's a fear?
Interestingly, no. Like almost every other time in the past when I've sold crypto, there's always been a part of me that was like, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Like, I don't want to be selling. I'm just selling because it feels like I should, or it feels like the right thing to do, or the responsible thing to do. But it was always like, it sucked to sell because I was like, I love crypto. I'm so bullish. I want to hold. I think we're going to go to the moon, yada, yada. This time around, it just feels good to sell. It's reducing exposure. So I still have, I mean, a ton of money in crypto. Obviously, this is everything that I do. This is a significant portion of my overall net worth is still in crypto. So I feel plenty exposed. I guess it's a case of I don't need 60% of my entire net worth in crypto. I'm content with 30 or 40%. That's kind of like, for me, that's what the selling is kind of looking like at a bird's eye view. Yeah, which I think is sensible. There will be times when, well, maybe there will, maybe there won't be. When I'm crazy bullish again and want to ramp that up significantly, but maybe not. I think to me, it all comes down to individual circumstances. Like every single person is different. If you have no crypto exposure, I would say absolutely go out, buy some crypto right now, set up a DCA, get building a position. If you're 90 to 100% in crypto, I would say this is a pretty good time to be selling, take some profits, etc. So everyone's situation is different. My situation is such that I was probably overexposed before. I didn't feel it at the time, but for whatever reason, I came back and I was like, these prices are 20, 30% higher on the majors from when I left, 40 or 50 for ETH, and much, much higher in alts. I'm going to take some chips off the table and take some time to decide what I want to do because yeah, I think we all get caught up in FOMO and rushing and have to make a decision now. But the reality is that there's plenty of time still in crypto and in markets to make good buys.
Selling your Bitcoin should be a last resort when you need cash. That's why there's Ledn, the trusted platform for Bitcoin-backed loans. You can unlock cash in as little as 18 hours with no monthly interest payments and no prepayment penalties. They've issued over $9 billion in loans and never lost a single Satoshi of client funds, even during the chaos of 2022. If you're a long-term hodler, this is the move. Get liquidity without selling at milkroad.com/Ledn, spelled Ledn. Meet CSUSDL, the stablecoin built for institutions and DAOs. Don't just hold basic stablecoins, earn yield, all without compromising security, backed by regulated real-world assets and secured with institutional-grade risk management by our friends at Stakehouse Financial. Put your treasury cash to work, earning native yield and protocol rewards, built by the team behind Coinshift, which is trusted to manage over $1 billion in business treasuries on-chain, including Aave, Gitcoin, and hundreds of leading institutions. See why CSUSDL is gaining traction at milkroad.com/Coinshift. The challenge is there's so many people that don't have profits to take right now, right?
Mm, yeah.
Like how many people bought the top in December or have held ETH throughout the last 4 years and, no profits there. And maybe maybe you bought Solana early on, but I don't think a lot of people bought Solana like in FTX,
Mm.
days when it was, yeah, $8, but like nobody was buying it then. So like I think that's the challenge is, do you reframe your mind around uh like trying to not to focus so much on your cost basis, but more to focus on a different metric for where you how you
I
treat your
literally never
investments?
think of cost basis. Like
Mm.
once I've bought something, it's out of my mind. I think of what percentage of my overall portfolio does it make up, and then what percentage of my overall portfolio outside of crypto does that make up. So within crypto, I could have bought some bonk or whiff or whatever for $100, and then it's worth $100,000. It's completely irrelevant that you paid $100 for it. It's if you're holding $100,000 position, it's basically the equivalent of taking $100,000 in cash and buying that position that day. And so I asked myself, would I do that? And if the answer is no, then you should probably be selling some of that position. And so that's kind of how I think about all of my holdings. There's obviously some nuance, tax and other things go into it, and slippage and liquidity and yada yada yada. But for the most part, once I buy something, original cost basis is out the window. But you're right. I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on. It's they're not in profit, so they bought it at a higher point and they haven't got back to that point yet. And it's like the trap is, oh, I'll just wait till it gets back to even, then I'll sell, or a little bit of profit, and then I'll sell, and then it comes sliding back down. So yeah, there's this thought experiment that I recommend people do. I do it myself very frequently. I call it the magic wand thought experiment, where basically, if you had a magic wand, you could liquidate your entire portfolio and get cash. Would you rebuy your exact portfolio in the exact proportions as you have it in today? And almost everyone says no. And then you ask yourself, well, then why don't you sell some of the positions and then basically just do the work and reallocate it? And again, the tax and the slippage issues are one reasonable response to that. But in many cases, people realize, including myself, you know what? Yes, I should be selling some of this, and this. I hold too much of memes and AI agents and garbage and maybe even too much of Solana and ETH and Sui and Aptos and not enough Bitcoin, or I don't have enough in stables to buy a potential future dip. So just constantly, I think reevaluating your positions is really really healthy.
That's a great
Yeah.
experiment. Are you buying anything? Have you bought anything since you're back from honeymoon?
No, but I'm also like I'm half back. Like I'm meant to be going to India tomorrow for a family wedding, and so like I knew that I'd be back for a week, leaving again. It's just like I've been reading Twitter, catching up on Discord a bit, catching up on emails, and just like getting my toes wet. But I'm not in the trenches. I'm not in Telegram chats being like, right. I see there's the new launch pads and there's new this, that, and the other. And it's like I'm basically taking my own advice that I think I've said on here and in the past. Was like, if you're not going to spend 18 hours a day, 12 hours a day in crypto, you're better off just doing nothing. So like the worst thing I could do is, you know what, I have 3 4 hours to spend. I've been away. I'm gonna buy some random stuff. I know that's gonna end poorly, so I'm just not buying and just sitting on my hands. And I do want to get back into it. It's nice to see markets hot again. It's nice to see AI agents and that sector doing well. Um, I know there are opportunities out there, but just for me right now, I'm not buying anything.
Mhm, mhm. You miss Boop. Did you get, you missed your chance to probably get
So I saw
$200,000 from
that.
Boop.
Yeah, there was I was pretty disconnected while I was away, but like a few things I did see. That was one of them, and like it just caught my eye. And people, because I logged into Twitter randomly to post a newsletter or something, and people like everyone was talking about, should I claim my $200,000 airdrop? I was like, what is going on?
What?
And yeah, what? And yeah, at a certain price point, it's always a question like, is it actually worth it? What's involved? If I put a disclaimer, yada yada. But I quickly did some math and was like, the token had dumped a bit. It was worth like it's still a lot, like $50,000. But then it was like vested, and I get a small percentage and reputation. It's just not
Yeah.
even worth considering at that point. But if it was like it's just straight up, $250,000 stablecoin airdrop just for launching a token. I think that's something every reasonable person would be like, is there a way to do this that is ethical and it isn't screwing people over and yada yada yada. But yeah, I
For
pretty
for for
quickly.
everyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Boop's the new Launchpad platform that came out, and part of their go-to-market strategy was to lean into leading influencers by offering them a $200,000 airdrop if you created your own coin on Boop. So you had to, like Zeneca would have had to launch a Zeneca coin on Boop. He would have had to promote it and sell it to your, not sell it, but promote it to your audience. And then Zeneca would have gotten $200,000. Like roughly, these are rough numbers, but it's
Something
like
like that, yeah.
something like that. But as you said, it was like it wasn't like instant. It was vested. You had to like hit all these like milestones. Like it was pure marketing. It was pure marketing.
Yeah, it
And
was
when you
pretty clever marketing, but
it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
But when you get caught up in those pure marketing schemes, you know that those are dangerous.
Oh, very dangerous, yeah. Yeah, the more I read, the more I was like, "Yeah, this is just no good." Like, I think you technically I didn't have to promote it. I could have called it, like, "fake coin, do not buy," something like that, and just didn't have to be associated with my brand or name whatsoever. But the way it worked was you unlock more tokens, like, the higher the market cap is. So they incentivize the creator to go out there and tweet about it and shill it and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not gonna do that, which I'm obviously not gonna be doing, it's not worth it.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Zen, I'm trying to like so what's your play for the next month? It sounds pretty simple to me, right? Like just sort of wait and watch and be patient.
Pretty much, yeah. Look for the new narrative because there's always a narrative. If we so it's like I'm trying to like plan for different eventualities. Like if we are entering into a probable market and an altcoin season, like those are opportunities that come across very rarely in life. So like you want to be able to capitalize on that. You want to be if you've been tuning into crypto every day for the last year, 2 years, 5 years, you don't want to miss those spots. So I don't want to miss if that's the case. So even though I'm selling, sitting on my hands, not buying, I want to be starting to pay attention again, just in case, you know what, you start to see the writing on the wall, the rumors, the murmurs and things they're just taking off. It's like we saw this late 2023 when things really started taking off, and if that starts to happen again, then you know risk on can turn pretty quickly. But in the intermediate time, it's just like reading, catching up, sitting on my hands, just keeping an eye out for what that narrative might be. Whether it's an old one that comes back like memes or AI or NFTs or gaming or something like that, or L1s, or it's some brand new thing that we haven't even heard of that just takes the space by storm. It's
Mhm,
so hard to tell.
mhm. And I think in my view, there's always a combination of both, right? There's always a new
Mm.
one, and that
Yes.
one's very hard to predict. And then there's also ones that come
Yeah.
back, right? And so, yeah, it's a challenging time. I think the best advice right now is to be patient, right? Because the you get so antsy when you have to be patient, and you feel like you need to make a move, and you feel like you need to do something, and that's when you often make the wrong decision. And also to remind yourself of like doing magic wand type exercise, like these types of exercises that make you reflect on
Mm.
your strategy and on your plan and look at your portfolio, like those are very valuable right now.
It's so important. Like I've been doing a lot more writing lately, and in part of that process, it's like thinking about things like this and other. Like I'm working on a piece right now on how do I value tokens, coins, projects, because crypto is so different to traditional finance, and just going through those thought processes and thinking about it is it's like it's basically the soft skills that I think about that are really where the vast majority of any profit or loss or revenue or anything is going to make up from your crypto career. It's rarely from being really really smart or rarely from spending 15 hours a day on your screen. It's from being patient. It's from having good systems. It's from managing your portfolio and stuff like that. And so I think it's a good time. The last few months has been a really good time to just like focus on that kind of stuff and like sharpen your knife, your axe, your whatever your tools are, and prepare for whether it's a bear market or a bull market. You want to be prepared in both scenarios. I think that's the thing. Most people try and pick one and be like, you know what, it's a bull market, I'm 100% all in, or it's a bear, I'm sitting all in cash. But try and hedge your bets and prepare for either scenario.
Yeah, yeah, couldn't agree more. Zen, great to get you back on the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be back.
Got to remind everybody, none of this was investment advice. Investing is risky. You should do your own research. You should make your own decisions. And you should only invest what you're prepared to lose. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a wicked awesome day. We'll see you back again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Appreciate your time and listening all the way to the end. Before I let you go, got to let you know about this partnership that we have with OKX, where you could win up to $60,000 in cash prizes. That's on-chain cash, USDT cash, the good kind, the stable coin kind. Why did we set up this partnership with OKX? Because they're one of the leading crypto exchanges. They're trusted. They've got great security. They've got tons of great features, tons of great tools. Really a great place to trade and do it in a safe way. Hit the link in the show notes. Check it out today. Thanks again for your time, y'all. Have a good one. As always, if you liked today's episode, please hit subscribe and make sure you follow us so you don't miss out on the next one. There's also a link in the description to our free 5-minute daily newsletter where we simplify crypto for you while making you laugh. And if you're willing to step up your crypto investing game, we're going to also leave a link for Milk Road Pro. You get access to our portfolio where you can see exactly what we are buying. This is your number one resource to help you invest successfully in crypto. One final note, this show is for educational purposes only and nothing we say is financial advice. Investing in crypto or any asset is risky and you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. Thanks so much for listening in, my friends. Have a wicked awesome day.